In a cold and quiet room on the alien ship, Commander Ryan stood tall. He wore a torn uniform, but his eyes were sharp, full of fire. Around him stood tall aliens with silver skin and long black eyes. They looked at Ryan like he was an animal. In a cage, the alien leader, High Commander Varnick, stepped forward. His voice was slow and cold. "You are human, weak. You talk too much, fight too much, always proud. Let's see how proud you are." When you are dead, Ryan didn't flinch. He looked around the room and smiled. "You tried to beat us in war. That didn't work. Now you're scared, so you're sending me away?" the aliens hissed. Varnick grinned. "No, human, we are not scared. We are curious. No one survives on planet Zorax. It is full of monsters. Storms, poison, machines break down, ships crash. Life dies, you will too." They all laughed. One alien even clapped slowly. Ryan shrugged. "Good, I hate boring places." A door opened behind him. Two guards pushed him forward. He walked calmly, like he was going to a picnic. They took him to a small pod, his transport to Zorax. As the pod launched, Ryan looked out the window. Stars passed by. His reflection stared back at him. He was alone. The pod entered Zorax's sky with a roar. Lightning cracked across the clouds. Black mountains stood like sharp knives. Purple trees moved like they were alive. The ground below had no roads, no cities, just wild, dangerous land. The pod crashed hard, but Ryan survived. He opened the hatch and stepped out. The air smelled strange, wet and sharp like metal and flowers. His boots sank a little into the soft ground. The wind screamed past his ears. He stood still for a moment, then spoke to himself. "Welcome to hell." He checked his pack rations, knife, flashlight, small tools, a flare gun, no gun. The aliens didn't want him to fight. They wanted him to die. Too bad. He moved slowly through the jungle. Every step made noise, cracks, squelches, hums. Strange insects crawled over glowing plants. Some looked at him with bright, curious eyes. Others vanished into the dark. He found a rock wall and climbed it to get a better view. From the top, he saw miles of alien land-twisted trees, steaming pools, moving shadows. Then he heard it, a sound deep like a heartbeat mixed with a growl. The trees moved. Something big was coming. Ryan slid down the rock and hid behind a fallen log. His breath was slow and steady. Through the thick leaves he saw it, huge, black skin like armor, long arms, sharp teeth. Eyes like fire, the beast dotted. Walked like it owned the world. Every animal ran from its path. It sniffed the air, then stopped. Its head turned toward Ryan. Ryan didn't move. The beast walked closer. Ryan raised a stick. It was stupid, but better than nothing. The beast stood in front of him now. It stared at him. Its mouth opened, showing hundreds of teeth. It roared. Sound that shook the trees and the ground. Ryan didn't flinch. He dropped the stick. "If you're gonna eat me, just do it." No point running. The beast stopped. It tilted its head. It looked confused, then suddenly it turned and walked away. Ryan stood there, stunned. What the hell? The jungle was quiet again. But something had changed. Ryan was not just a human on an alien world. He was being watched, tested. He found a small cave and made a fire. The warmth felt good, but he knew sleep would be dangerous. He sat near the flame, eyes scanning the darkness. "Okay, Zorax," he whispered. "Let's see what you've got." High above, in orbit, the aliens watched the footage. Varnick frowned. "He didn't run, he didn't scream," another alien muttered. "He faced it. No weapons." Varnick turned away. "Let's see how long he lasts." But deep in the jungle, something else was watching too. Something bigger than even the aliens knew, and it was interested. The night on planet Zorax never truly slept. The jungle didn't rest. It whispered, moved, and breathed. But Ryan was awake. His eyes were open, fixed on the cave entrance, and the small fire by his side burned low. His knife rested near his hand. Outside, the wind howled like it carried voices. Suddenly, the fire shook. Just for a second. The ground thudded once. Then again something was coming. Ryan stood slowly. He didn't breathe. The thudding grew louder. Trees bent. The jungle trembled. Then Silence. He stepped to the cave entrance and peered out. Nothing. No wind. No sound then. Out of the shadows, two glowing eyes appeared. Red, burning like coals, and then came the sound, a slow, deep growl that vibrated in his chest. The beast had returned. It stepped into the firelight, tall as a small house. Its skin was like black stone. Scars ran across its chest and arms. It had horns. Not like a bull, but twisted, sharp, dangerous. Ryan stood still. His heart beat faster, but his face showed nothing. The beast stopped a few feet away. Its mouth opened slightly. Drool hit the ground. Steam rose from it. Ryan didn't raise his weapon. "I'm still here," he said softly. "Not afraid." Not. Running, the beast lowered its head. It sniffed the air around Ryan. Its hot breath blew against his face. Ryan didn't move. After a long, quiet moment, the beast let out a small grunt and walked away again. Back into the darkness. But this time it didn't disappear fully. It stayed just beyond the FIRELIGHT watching. Morning. Ryan left the cave and walked into the jungle. He had to find water and something to eat, but now he wasn't alone. The beast followed him just out of sight. Always near, never attacking. Ryan talked while he worked. "Don't know if you understand me," he said to the trees, "but I'm not your enemy. And I'm not your prey." He found a strange fruit blue with green spikes. He sniffed it, tasted a small bite. Not poison. Sweet. He placed one on a rock and walked away. The beast came out of the trees and sniffed the fruit. It growled low, then ate it. Ryan watched from behind a tree and smiled. Day by day things changed. The beast came closer each time. It didn't growl as much. It watched Ryan fix tools, clean wounds, build a shelter from broken branches and leaves. One day, Ryan found the beast limping, a deep cut across its leg. Purple blood leaked from it. He stepped close slowly, gently. The beast growled, but didn't strike. Ryan opened his medkit and began cleaning the wound. "You're not a monster," he said quietly. "You're just surviving, like me." The beast didn't move. It let him work. When Ryan finished, he looked up. The beast looked back. They sat in silence. Then, for the first time, the beast lay down next to Ryan, close, trusting. Ryan whispered, "You need a name." "I'll call you Gore." Days passed. Gore followed Ryan everywhere now. They moved through the jungle together, hunter and soldier. Gore protected Ryan from smaller creatures, and Ryan protected Gore from traps left behind by other species. Together, they were stronger. Ryan even built a saddle from vines and scrap metal. The first time he tried to ride, Gore tossed him off with a grunt. The second time, Gore let him stay. Now, when Ryan rode through the jungle on the back of a roaring beast, he didn't feel like prey anymore. He felt like a king, but peace never lasted on Zorax. One evening, as the sky turned dark orange and stars blinked into view, Gore stopped. His nose twitched. His ears flattened. Ryan felt it too. The air was heavier. The ground warmer. He looked around. "What is it, boy?" Gore growled a deep, warning sound. Then Ryan saw it. Far away, past the dead trees, something massive moved. Not like Gore, bigger, older. The tree shook as it passed. Even Gore stepped back. Ryan put his hand on Gore's neck. "If that's what I think it is, we're not alone here." Gore growled louder now, louder than ever before, and Ryan realized something important. This planet didn't have one beast. It had two. And the second one wasn't friendly. Before the war, Ryan used to wake up to birds. Now he woke up to a monster. Gore's breath was loud, like a low engine. It puffed in slow, deep waves as the giant beast slept beside Ryan's campfire. Its chest rose and fell like a moving hill. Ryan stretched, rubbing his sore back. "You snore louder than a tank," he muttered. Gore didn't move. Ryan looked at the sky. Zorax had no true sun, just a burning red cloud that circled the planet like a dying star. It gave enough light to see, but no warmth. He stood, walked toward the edge of the cliff, and looked out over the land. Acid lakes, twisted forests, the bones of things too big to name, and something new. In the far distance, Ryan saw it, a ruined structure half buried in vines and stone. Not natural. Not made by Zor Axdot, it was made by someone. Ryan rode Gore through the jungle for hours. The bond between man and beast was strong now. Gore moved fast, smooth, even dodging trees without Ryan needing to guide him. They stopped near the edge of the ruin. Gore growled low. He didn't like it. Ryan patted his neck. I'll check it alone. Stay close. The building was old, cracked walls, alien letters carved into stone. Moss grew over everything. Ryan walked inside. The air was cooler here. Still, he turned on a small light and moved deeper into the ruin. Then he saw them bones, not alien, human. A torn patch on a dead soldier's uniform still showed the Earth flag. Ryan's face went still. We've been here before. He looked around the room. There were marks on the walls, claw marks, blood stains, scratches in English. We woke something. We couldn't kill it. It learns. Ryan stepped back slowly. Then the room shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Outside, Gore roared. Ryan ran. He burst out of the ruin, heart racing. Gore stood tall, eyes locked on the trees. Something moved inside them, huge and slow. Then it stopped. Silence. Ryan climbed on Gore's back. We need to go, now. That night, as firelight danced on the cave walls, Ryan sat beside Gore. He spoke softly, like to an old friend. I saw human bones today. People came here before me. They died trying to fight. Something. I think it's still here. Gore looked at him. Not with fear, but with knowing. Ryan stared into the beast's red eyes. You've seen it too, haven't you? Gore gave a low growl. A sound of warning, of memory. Ryan tossed another branch into the fire. I think you've been alone a long time. He leaned back, arms behind his head. You're not just an animal, he said. You're a survivor, like me. Days passed. The bond between them grew stronger. Ryan trained Gore with whistles and hand signals. He taught him to track, to avoid certain plants, to search for safe ground. In return, Gore protected Ryan like a brother. He even brought back food, strange fruit, and once a metal box buried under rocks, filled with ancient rations. Ryan laughed for the first time in weeks. You're smarter than most soldiers I knew. At night, they sat quietly by the fire. Sometimes Ryan talked about Earth, about oceans and blue skies. Gore listened. Sometimes they just sat in silence. And that was enough. One night, lightning struck far across the jungle. Ryan stood on a cliff, watching the sky burn. He saw a shape again, that massive one from before. But now, it moved faster. It was getting closer. Gore stood beside him, tense. The air smelled like metal and ash. Ryan whispered, What are you? What do you want? The ground trembled. Then it stopped. For now, the next morning, Ryan carved something into a stone wall near the cave. Day 47. I have a friend now. A good one. He didn't know why he did it. Maybe because he wasn't sure how many more days he'd get. But in this place, even small words mattered. He turned back to Gore, who was sniffing the air, ears raised. Ryan grabbed his gear. Let's move, buddy. We've got work to do. The jungle was waking up. And so was something else beneath it. Asterisk, the silence was wrong. Zorax was never quiet. The jungle always hummed buzzing insects, distant roars, howling winds, but now, nothing. No birds, no bugs, no wind. Just stillness. Ryan stood near a black river with Gore beside him. Even the beast seemed nervous, sniffing the air, muscles tight. Ryan checked his tracker, static. He checked the compass. Spinning, he looked at the sky. Red clouds had stopped moving, he whispered. Something's broken. They moved slowly through dead trees. The ground had changed, drier, cracked, warm like skin. Ryan knelt and touched the soil. It pulsed under his fingers like a heartbeat. He looked at Gore. The beast growled low, ears flat, eyes wide. For the first time, Ryan saw fear in the creature's face, and it scared him. Then they saw it, a hole in the earth, wide and deep, breathing heat like a furnace. The trees around it were dead, burned, as if something had climbed out long ago. Around the hole were symbols, carved deep into stone, old, alien, and full of warnings. Ryan took a few steps closer, his flashlight flickering. Inside the hole, the walls were marked with giant claw cuts. Blood black and ancient still stained the rock. Something was buried here once and it wasn't dead. Later. Back at the cave, Ryan pulled out his journal and started writing. Not the only monster. Something worse. Not like Gore, older, smarter, something we weren't meant to find. He looked at Gore, who paced the cave entrance, still alert. Gore is not the beast they should fear. It's the one that Gore fears. The next morning, Ryan returned to the ruins. This time he went deeper, past the skeletons. Past the broken tech. He found a sealed door, rusted and locked. It took him hours to break it open. Behind it, he found a room full of logs and recordings made by humans. Old mission files. Data screens still glowing. He played one. A human voice crackled through. We found a creature buried under Sector 9. It was asleep. We tried to study it. We made a mistake. Another recording. It isn't a creature. It's a mind. Living weapon. It learns. And another. We called it Varn. It doesn't hunt for food. It hunts for knowledge, for power. It absorbed our machines. It speaks through them now. Final log. We sealed it. Buried it deep. But something's changing. We shouldn't have come here. Ryan stood still for a long time. Then he heard a voice. Not from the screen. From the wall, soft, whispering, Ryan. He spun around, gun up. Nothing there. Just a screen flickering. It showed his face. But he never pressed record. He smashed the screen and ran. Outside. The jungle had changed. The sky was darker. Lightning cracked in the distance. And Gore was gone. Ryan searched for hours, calling out. No answer. He followed broken branches and heavy tracks. They led deep into the black forest trees that bent unnaturally, as if pulled by gravity. He found blood. Not Gore's. Something else had bled here. Something large. Then, through the fog, he saw it. Gore, standing in a clearing, facing a shape made of smoke and metal, tall, shifting, not quite real. The creature had no face. Just a mouth that didn't move. And a voice that echoed in Ryan's head. Human, you are curious. Ryan raised his weapon. What are you? I am the reason your kind dies here. It turned to Gore. Your pet served me once. It forgot, I remember. Gore roared, loud, angry, afraid. The thing didn't flinch. Ryan fired. The bullet passed through it like mist. The creature whispered again. You brought me light, Ryan. You woke me. I thank you. Then it vanished into the trees. Gore fell to the ground, panting. Smoke rose from his fur. Ryan knelt beside him. You okay? Gore looked at him, eyes wide. No roar, no growl. Just silence, the silence of fear. That night, Ryan didn't sleep. The fire cracked weakly. Gore slept with one eye open. Ryan stared at the sky, where stars should have been. But now, something blocked them. Something huge was rising. It started with the sky. It cracked, not with thunder, but with a voice. Not a sound. Not a roar. A voice inside every living thing. It whispered one word. Rise. Birds dropped from the air. Rivers froze in place. Trees began to lean toward something. In the distance toward Sector 9, Gore woke with a scream, his body twitching, smoke rising from his back. Ryan grabbed him. Gore, what's happening? The beast looked around wildly, then locked eyes with Ryan. And for the first time ever, Gore spoke. One word. Rough, broken, but clear. Varn. The world had changed. The jungle wasn't a jungle anymore. It was a machine. Metal vines crept over trees. Roots pulsed with red light. The ground throbbed like it had veins. Ryan stood on a cliff, scanning the land. In the distance, something was building. A tower, black and wide, climbing out of the hole from Sector 9. It wasn't made by hands. It was growing. Gore growled behind him, but it wasn't his normal sound. It was a warning. A call to war. Ryan spoke slowly. It's not just alive. It's converting the planet. Like a virus. He watched as the tower pulsed, each beat louder than before. Ryan and Gore moved fast through the twisted land. They needed supplies, anything left from the old missions. From the dead, they found broken outposts, crashed shuttles, long dead. Soldiers from the remains. Ryan built weapons, explosive traps, EMP darts, sharpened steel blades. He painted one word on his chest armor. Human. Not for pride, for memory. Because when the world forgets who you are, you fight to remind it. As night came, Ryan saw it. The tower was fully awake now. A beam of red light shot into the sky, splitting the clouds, and below it thousands of things began to crawl from the earth. Not animals, not machines. Hybrids. They walked on metal legs. Their skin was part flesh, part code, and their eyes were human. Ryan aimed his scope and looked closer. What he saw made his blood run cold. One of them wore a torn earth uniform. It still had a name tag, El Marez. She had been on the last human mission to Zorax. She was supposed to be dead. Ryan stepped back from the ridge, breathing hard. They're not just killing people, he said. They're using them. Gore growled low. Then he turned his head. Behind them, movement, dozens of creatures marching toward them. They weren't hunting, they were coming for war. Ryan didn't run. He set his traps in a circle, placed explosives in the ground, checked every wire, every fuse. Then he climbed onto Gore's back and whispered, "Let's show them what Earth taught us." The first wave came at dawn, screaming, clicking, glitsh and G. The jungle exploded as Ryan triggered the traps. Fire lit up the trees. Smoke filled the air. Gore charged into them, claws out, mouth wide. He fought like he was born for this. Ryan shot, ducked, threw blades, blood mixed with oil. Screams mixed with static. He didn't feel fear anymore, just purpose. But they kept coming. For every one they killed, two more rose. Ryan shouted over the noise, "We can't hold this forever." Then he saw it dash Varn. Not fully formed, just a shape in the sky. A storm with a face. It spoke again. "You are learning." "That pleases me." Ryan aimed his flare gun and fired it straight into the sky, a signal, not for help, for bait. "Come down here." "Coward," he shouted. "Stop hiding behind your puppets." Varn answered with lightning. It struck Gore directly. The beast collapsed, smoking. Still, Ryan screamed and ran to him. Gore's eyes were open, but fading. "No," Ryan whispered. "Not now." He pressed a stim patch to Gore's neck. "No." "Dying yet, big guy?" Gore didn't move. Ryan turned, face burning, gun shaking in his hand. "You wanted war, Varn?" He growled. "You got one." As the sky burned red and the machines marched on, one human stood between them and the future, and beside him, a beast who refused to die. Silence. Not peaceful silence, aftermath silence. Ash drifted through the air like snow. The trees were gone, burned, bent, broken. The ground had cracks like open wounds. Something big had happened here. And in the middle of it all, a human sat beside a dying fire. His armor was torn. His skin was covered in ash and blood. His eyes didn't blink. Ryan. He sat with Gore's head in his lap. The beast wasn't breathing. Ryan whispered, "You carried me through hell, big guy. You don't owe me anything." But Gore's chest rose once, barely. Ryan smiled, cracked and tired. "Then let's go finish this." Orbit Alien Command Ship. The Alien Council sat in a glowing chamber, watching the dead feed from Zorax. Red screens. Heat maps. No movement. VA or NOK. The High Commander leaned back in his chair. "Well, the human is dead." Another alien nodded. "The planet has consumed him, like the others." But then a ping, one red dot moving fast. Straight toward the surface launch pad. One alien leaned in. "That can't be." The screen zoomed in. One man. One beast. Riding full speed. Straight through the storm. Back on Zoraxrian. Stood before a launch bay. It had taken him 4 days to fix. The old human shuttle buried in the jungle. He'd used parts from dead drones, alien ruins, and even stripped metal from fallen hybrids. Now the engine screamed, ready to fly. He climbed. Aboard with Gore lying beside him, the beast's body was covered in armor. Now handmade, sharp, heavy. Ryan looked out the cracked window and spoke softly. "They sent us here to die. Let's go return the favor." He hit launch. Alien ship, hangar deck and alarm blared. Guards rushed to formation. A red flash lit up the docking zone, and then impact. The shuttle smashed through the bay. Doors like a meteor. Smoke, fire, sparks. Everywhere. The aliens pulled. Weapons aimed into the fog. Then they saw it. Gore. Alive. Armored, roaring, huge, and on his back Ryan standing tall, Holding a weapon made from both human and alien tech, one alien screamed, "He's alive!" Ryan raised his weapon and fired. The blast knocked 5 guards back into a wall. Ryan leapt down, shouting, "You left me to die? Now I'm returning." The gift. They fought through the hallways. Gore slammed enemies into the walls. Ryan moved like a ghost, fast, quiet. Deadly. He used their own tech against them. Grenades stolen from the jungle. Armor made from the wrecks of their own fallen machines. Aliens shouted for reinforcements. Doors sealed. Lights flickered. Ryan kicked through the command chamber. VA. Our OK stood waiting, unarmed. "Human," he said. "We underestimated you." Ryan stepped forward. "You didn't underestimate me. You misunderstood us." Varnock tilted his head. "You were sent as punishment, a lesson," Ryan smiled coldly. "Then here's yours. Never bet against a human who has nothing to lose." Ryan fired. The chamber filled with smoke. When it cleared, Varnock was gone. Or dead. It didn't matter. Later. Ryan stood on the bridge, looking at the stars through a cracked viewport. Gore stood beside him, growling softly, watching. The ship was his now. He opened the comms channel. Static cleared. A voice crackled through. "Identify yourself." Ryan leaned close to the mic. "This is Commander Ryan, human, alive. I'm coming home." A pause, then a quiet reply. "Copy that." "We're listening." Ryan smiled, and behind him, Gore let out a low, proud growl. A quiet room. Big, bright, full of voices that spoke in low tones. Leaders from 100 worlds sat around a wide glass table. Some had claws, some had wings. Some were just glowing orbs of light. All waited, nervous. Then the doors opened. He walked in, a man in burnt armor, his face marked with dust and scars, his eyes sharp, cold, alive. And beside him walked the beast, taller than them all, wrapped in black metal and silence. Every alien in the room froze, because he wasn't supposed to be here. He was supposed to be dead. Ryan stepped to the center of the room. He didn't bow. He didn't ask to speak. He just dropped something on the table. A helmet, cracked, covered in dried blood. The alien mark still showed on the side, the mark of those who had sent him to die. No one touched it. Ryan looked up. "You wanted a lesson," he said, voice low. "So here it is." Flashback, Zorax, broken and burning in the background. Ryan recording a final log inside the alien command ship. "They sent me to die. The planet didn't kill me. The monsters didn't break me. Because I had something they don't understand. I had choice, I had anger, and I had a friend." Back in the council chamber, Ryan continued. "You thought survival was weakness. You thought we were just muscle, just chaos. But we build bonds, we protect, we fight. For more than breath." He looked around at each alien. "You don't know what that means. That's why we scare you." The room was dead silent. Even the ones who once laughed at him now avoided his gaze. Gore let out a single grunt. It echoed like thunder. One alien dared to speak. "What do you want, human?" Ryan stepped closer. "I want you to remember something. Forever." He raised a device and pressed a button. A hologram appeared, showing his journey, the crash, the beast, the ruins, the army. The final battle. The message played loud and clear. Don't send a human to die, unless you're ready to face what comes back. Later, Ryan stood alone at the edge of a spaceport. Helmet in hand, Gore sat behind him, staring at the sky. A child approached from the crowd. "Are you really the man who tamed the beast?" Ryan smiled. "No," he said. "The beast tamed me." He turned, climbed aboard a ship, and left the galaxy without another word. The story spread. Across systems. Across planets. Across species. They called him the one who returned. The human who brought the storm, the beast rider. And everywhere his name was spoken, fear followed. Because now they understood. Humans don't die easy. Final scene. Gore sits alone on a cliff. Above him, stars move slowly. In the dirt is a symbol, scratched by claws. Just one word. Ryan. And beside it, one more. Brother.